I woke up this morning to cyclonic winds outside my door, and that is what was a feature in Catalunya today. Very, very high winds. So the stage got shortened. They were supposed to go up to the Santuari de Queralt on top of Berga, and then they removed the Col de Pradell, which was in the middle of the stage. Then they took out the final climb, and then eventually the stage was going to be a couple of laps and then like an uphill sprint in Berga. But then the first lap was neutralized because of the high winds. Roglic went over to talk to the commissaires to see what was happening, and so what was decided was with 5Ks to go on the stage, the GC times would be taken. They'd race the last 25Ks, and then the stage win would be in play, but no bonus seconds at all. So basically GC, as long as they all rolled through together with 5Ks to go, there weren't going to be any gaps, and there's like an uphill sprint for those who want a World Tour stage win, which we saw in La Vuelta a couple of years ago when Andreas Krohn won that stage. Or was it the Catalunya? I think, was it in Barcelona with the Volta? He won that after the night TTT in 2023? Yeah, I think so. Carlos Verona goes clear. He knows these roads well. He's joined by Remy Rochas. Frank Vandenbroek's not pulling, though. Doesn't relay, even though he maybe has the quickest sprint in the group, because they got Pavel Bittner behind. So Picnic Postonel, they got an uphill sprinter. Matthew Brennan left the race this morning for Visma Lisa bike. So Bittner, who's looked pretty sharp in the other sprints, had an even better chance than maybe he would have yesterday. We've also got Axel Laurence for Ineos Grenadiers. That's why they're riding. I still think Vandenbroek should have pulled, and I still think he should have got the Tour de France stage win last year. But they were caught. Him and Verona were caught. Ineos would have caught them anyway, most likely. Movistar were pacing to keep Enrique Mas in good position. And yeah, Ineos are going for Axel Laurence as they go over the dam. So if you weren't in GC, I would have just rolled in. I would have done a chill ride. And the wind gusts, apparently, some people messaged me, they were really, really high. And so it probably wasn't safe to go up where they were planned to go up. Quintana attacks just before the 5Ks marker. Maybe he's trying to do a lead out for Enrique Mas to try and nab a couple of seconds. But Ayuso and Roglic are through there. Nothing happens. Vandenbroek keeps pacing, and then there's splits. 4.3Ks to go. The GC guys are out of it, and there's half the riders don't care. And so then there's like 20, 35 riders who still care and are going for this stage. And like we've had a few of these stages in recent years, actually, these sort of semi-neutralized ones. Like in Basque Country last year when Menkes won when Vingegaard crashed out. Trek got two, though. They got Quinn Simmons, who's got himself into this group, and that's the key to him winning the stage. This split, which Trek have two in, where Verona keeps the hammer down, gives Simmons the launch pad when it starts to go uphill with 1K to go. Frank Vandenbroek and Vernon have just got back on, Frank Vandenbroek was already there, and then Simmons steps off. So Vandenbroek had already done too much. He can't follow. Van Aert was there, who's quite punchy, and now there's no domestiques. And so that split just before the 1K to go really gave Simmons the launch pad to go, and he's won a Volta a San Juan stage with the last 1 kilometer flyer ahead of Maximiliano Richese, I think, the Argentine lead-out man for Quick-Step, who was on UAE. That was on a moto circuit, but this is uphill, so it's funny because Simmons, I swear he trains the most of everyone. I mean, he's flogged by the time February starts. He trains way too much at altitude in America by the time the season starts, doing massive long rides. And then he wins a 25K stage. That's the funny thing. Then there's like a 20K stage, a half an hour stage, and he wins. He gets clear that little descent and then the corners obviously helped. He was super strong as well. And Pavel Bittner isn't able to get across their same uphill sprint. It looked like he was coming back. Simmons has a second kick and just wins, holding off Bittner by about 3 seconds or so. So yeah, we had a stage. Simmons wins his first World Tour win. Trek, I think, their 10th win of the season. And Israel finished with Vernon and Strong there. Vendrame and Godon also, they haven't figured out which one's supposed to work for whom, and they've got nothing out of the race so far, Decathlon, and no GC gap. So all to play for tomorrow, really, with the bonus seconds in play in Barcelona. We've got a stage of six circuits of Montjuic, punchy finish. or flat finish rather, but a punchy circuit. Here's what Simmons had to say after the stage.
How was this extremely sprint stage?
Yeah, it's probably the strangest day of my career. We first we race, then we don't race, then we do a short race, and then we do 2 laps of the race, and then we do 28K in the end. So yeah, it's a bit surprising to be here because, if I'm honest, I was one of the riders voting that we don't start when we felt the wind today. But yeah, in the end, it's a World Tour race and my first World Tour victory, so it's super special.
There was nervous in the peloton during the stage before and in this final super crowded arrival.
Yeah, everyone was a bit not knowing what was going on, and then of course when you race so short it's going to be super nervous. We actually didn't even know when the start was coming. I was back in the cars taking my leg warmers off, so I was like third peloton in the descent and rode back by myself. I thought maybe the day was already over about 2K into the stage, but yeah, it was crazy.
You were going for the victory to have your first pro win in this Volta?
Yeah, it's I wasn't actually supposed to be here. I got the call on Thursday that I come, and yeah, it's super special to take my first World Tour victory, especially with my family watching at home, and my girlfriend and brother will be at the finish tomorrow. So, you know, it's almost a home race for me living in Girona. You know, I'll never get a race in the U.S., so I have to call this my home race now, I guess.
What do you expect for the stage of tomorrow?
Well, probably about the same intensity as today, just a few Ks longer. I think with only 80K or whatever, it's flat out from the start. My biggest objective for the week was tomorrow, and then yeah, I got the job done one day early, so we try for some bonus tomorrow. But the team can go home happy, and I can go home super happy.
But Ayuso is still leading GC by 1 second, so Roglic has to finish ahead of Ayuso and take bonus seconds tomorrow if he wants to win GC. Should be a good early afternoon race. Till then, ciao.